So as you can see, I've had my 3 ton of soil delivered. Now I need to get my weed membrane cut. I need to get it stapled to the beds. And then I have the long, tiring trek from the back of the plot near the gate to my plot. So I'll get that done, and hopefully as soon as that's all done and my beds are filled, I'm almost ready for the growing season. Just disturb this little guy. Oops, got you. Put him down before I hurt him. Oh. Right, that is all the membrane kind of sealed and folded over at the bottom. You can see how clay my soil is. So obviously these are going to be raised beds because the soil quality here isn't the best. So that is going to be the fixed place of my pallet collars. Now I do think I am going to be able to fit 3 archways in here and possibly leave this bed facing this way. I'm unsure, but I quite like this layout at the moment. So I just need to get all this soil into these beds and we are good to go. Thankfully, this wheelbarrow is huge and it only took 3 wheelbarrow falls to get it from there to here. So 6 more to go and I'll be done. And I suggest when you are researching soil for your allotment, go with the best one. Look at a lot of reviews. Took me a while to find this last year, and this is the same company that I had last year. It's all organic matter. It's made on a farm, and they deliver it in ton bags. There's no additives, no chemicals, and it's just so dark, so rich. And even just getting it from the entrance to here, I've had a lot of people on the plot saying how good it looks, how nice it smells. Last year, everything in my original plot grew really well. I even grew seeds in this. And I just wanted to give my second plot best chance. I think this is going to be a really nice bed for my potatoes. Oops, don't want to waste it. I don't know about you, but that is a very beautiful looking bed. You'll be surprised, this is almost a ton bag and it's still not quite full to where I want it. And obviously over time, this is going to compress and kind of sink. So I may need a second delivery later in the year, but you can never have enough soil. One bed down, 2 more to go. And then maybe I'll have some soil left over just to top up a little bit of my other beds. Yeah. As you can see, it is very wet, very slippy, and I'm getting stuck on every single corner and bend. Thankfully, I have a double-wheeled wheelbarrow, so it's a lot steadier than a single one. So this is helping, but the ground is not. So before I fill up my pallet collars, I do want to put down a nice thick layer of cardboard first. This plot is a nightmare when it comes to bramble, bindweed and comfrey. So a layer of this to hopefully suppress any weeds, anything that might pop up. Just give them a better chance and hopefully minimize any weeds later down the line. I did go through this cardboard and I removed any label, any bit of plastic, any ink. I know black ink is not as bad, but again, I didn't want anything other than cardboard in these beds. So it took a while, but I think it's worth it to not contaminate the soil. Next bit can be left out. And obviously in time when this gets wet, a few weeks, it'll just turn to mush. It's just there to suppress any weeds for now. And it's just gonna add a little bit of structure to the soil. It's not gonna do any harm. Some people water the cardboard first, but with it being a lovely sunny England, we're gonna get rain all of this week. So kind of pointless to me, wasting my time, wasting my only 2 water bots that I have on watering cardboard. Oops. I need a drink. See, this is what I'm dealing with. Yeah, it's not easy. Here we go. This is back-breaking work, but speed is my friend, and if I slow down, I'll stop. I'm so glad this is a one-time thing. While I'm here, someone has kindly left a big bag of daffodils that I've started to shoot kind of near our waste bin area, and everything that's left there is free for anyone to take. So I'm thinking just dig a few holes, put a few of these in, and I don't see why they won't grow quite nicely this year. I have been given this really nice kind of cherry tree. Now I'm thinking about putting this in one of my beds at the back, and maybe getting some sort of cage and kind of a spellying or a spallying, or however you say it, kind of making like a frame for it to grow up. Yeah, because it does have only really 3 kind of straight shoots, so it'd be quite easy to attach and shape as I please. So it is a different day and the sun is out, so what better day to come down and get some jobs done. Now I do have something to try that was gifted to me later on in the video, which will hopefully make my allotment jobs a lot easier. And I just want to get some planting done, some seeds sown, and hopefully, if the rain stays away, some nice bacon cobs. Well, a good sign is my fountain works. Bit of sun and she comes back to life. I really need to get in this pond and get this end here cleared and scraped away. I've got a lot of algae and debris from the winter in here. So yeah, this is going to remain the wild area for things to get in and out of the pond. But then the deeper section with my lily pads, I want nice and clear. Hopefully to see any little fish that have creeped in somehow from last year. So while I'm here today and while the weather is nice, I did want to get in some carrots. Now this bed is fresh, it has no stones in it, it's very nice fine soil, so I think the carrots will do well in this bed. I've also not added any nutrients to this, so again the carrots I think are going to do better here than in the other beds that I've added stuff to. So the 2 types I have are Speedo F1, which is again just a large carrot, and Berlicum 2, and again both can be sowed now. I will be sowing these kind of thinly along a line, and I do have a cane which fits really nice. So I'm just going to press this in the ground so I can get my drills. Yes, I think for now just 2 rows of each will be enough for me, just to get a nice early sowing, and I'll plant more later on when it's a lot drier. And thankfully there's no wind today because these are the tiniest seeds. So just a really thin sowing. Again, I will thin these out if needed later on. Just fill in any little gaps with just a couple. So let me know how you grow your carrots, if you direct sow or if you do them in trays. This is what I did last year and it kind of worked well for me. This and the buckets that I did, which I will be doing again like later in the year. But for now, I think a few runs of carrots just to get me going. And it's nice to get something in the ground. Just lightly cover these over, they don't need much. Slight pat down so there's some good contact with the soil. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the cane kind of here so I know that's where I got up to. Again, I can fill this bed with more carrots or some beetroot that I've got growing. And just make use of these beds early as I can. So, as I mentioned earlier on, I have been very kindly gifted this, and it is a Substable 6-inch mini chainsaw. Now, weather depending, because here in the UK at the moment, we're having nothing but rain. So, I do have a, oh sorry, the little robin's back. Distracted. Anyway, I do have a smaller tree at the back of my polytunnel that I do want to get down, and I think this is going to do the job nicely. So I'm going to get this set up, get this turned on and all that sort of stuff, and we'll give it a go. So this is the tree in question. Now, it's not a big tree, but it's kind of in the way. It is within my allotment, so I have asked permission and I can cut this down. Now, I do think that that chainsaw is going to make this a really quick, simple job. And I am going to cut it kind of further up first and then work my way down. So I'm going to start cutting and let's see how quick I can get this tree down. Safety first. I did have to buy some goggles just in case, but it does come with a blade shield, so these aren't really needed, but I thought better to be safe than sorry, and I'll put these on. Yeah, so this is the mini chainsaw. It's a very cool looking one. Now it comes with 2 batteries, so you can use it all day. It does have the kind of guard for the blade to stop anything from flying back at your face, so that's good. But yeah, I'm going to get it started, get cutting, and let's see how well it cuts through this tree. So yeah, very pleased with this. It's going to be a great addition, a great compact addition to my allotment kit, and any future jobs with my fruit trees, boundary hedges, this is going to be great for that. So I am going to go on a little hunt to see if I can find a bigger log to give this, you know, a better test. The smaller branches, yeah, cut through really nicely, really easily, but I want to give it a go on something thicker. So I'm going to have a little wander around, see if I can find anything lying down anywhere that no one's using, and I'll try and give it a cut with this. Who knows, maybe carve myself a little squirrel or something. So I've had a little wander around and I found this. This is the thickest log I could find on this allotment, but I think it will do. So I'm going to get this down on some level ground and see what this chainsaw can do. As you can see, it went through that wood really well. It definitely does better on the thicker wood rather than those spindly little branches. And that's definitely something I'm going to be using kind of in the year when I've got more dry days, you know, and more maintenance jobs that I can be doing. A great bit of kit, and thank you for sending it. Rummaging through my polytunnel today, I found my root trainers for my sweet peas. So I do have a big box full of sweet peas that I'm going to start. I only have one tray, I think, so I'm just going to do a couple of lines of each one. I do have, I think, about 10 different types, so again I should get a nice mixture in this one. Get them planted, put in the polytunnel, and then just leave them to do their own thing. I do intend on direct sowing some sweet peas again this year, like I did last year. That did really well. So again, I'm going to do some inside the polytunnel and some in the ground, so I get the best of both really. I also found these really small cells. Now I've got a couple of these, and then I've got a couple of the square ones, but I thought these are going to be ideal for individual beetroot. There's probably 100 in each one. So if I just fill them both with beetroot, again, the seeds I need to use up anyway. And then once they get a couple of nice good leaves, I'll just take the plug out and put them wherever I want. So that's the plan for the beetroot. I already have some in the polytunnel that I planted the other day, but again, never have enough, and these are great gap fillers. I'm going to have a lot of gaps in between crops that I can just shove these in. And if you're like me and you enjoy beetroot, you like to pickle it, eat it, you can't have enough. So that's the plan today. Beetroot, sweet peas, polytunnel, all done. Right, here goes. So I'll just put a list of the ones that I'm going to be growing in here because I did show you each one in a previous video. So if you'd like to see which type I'm growing, go back a few videos and you'll see. But I'm just going to probably put 2 in each one, work my way across, and then if I've got any spares again, they can just go outside. I can direct sow them, might even mix them all together and just chuck them in later on. So I'll start off with Tool Mix. This is just a mixed colours. It might be best just to tip them in my hand and push them down. Now you can obviously do this at home. I've chosen to do it down the polytunnel because I want them to grow a little slower than they would if they were at home. I don't want them to get really leggy, which I found last year with my conservatory being so warm. They kind of stretched a little bit. So this year I'm going to try just keeping them in the polytunnel. Again, they're a lot warmer in there than they will be outside, and they should do fine in there anyway. And as you can tell, the rain has started, but thankfully I've got an umbrella. So the second one I just put in, this is for my purpose really, so I can go back and see what I've got. The second one was Twilight. Might just write on the sticks instead. So Twilight. Again, these sticks are not very good as soon as they get wet. Ink runs from them. So again, I'll just name them 1, 2, 3 in the video so I can go back and see what they are. So the third one is a heritage mix. A pen gone. So the fourth one will be just blue. It just says Sweet Pea Blue. Again, I probably won't be watering these because the soil is so wet. And again, I've chosen to use just the new stuff that I've got on the plot rather than going and buying separate compost for these. But it should be perfectly fine for them. Right, so I do think I have 5 more. Perfect. So that one was just blue. And then these were the ones I got in a kit that I got from Amazon. It's a Thompson & Morgan kit, so I've got high hopes for these. So this one is number 5 and it's Sweet Dreams. I don't think you get many seeds in these. No, so 5, so enough for a run at least. 1, 2, 5. That one was Sweet Dreams. Next one, so number 6 is Nimbus. Now I think this was a really nice kind of blue one. A white and blue, like speckled one. I've actually grew this before. It's a really nice one. So Nimbus, and if you can't tell already, it's raining, so I'm going to just bring the camera in, or it's going to get damaged. I think that would do. So again, so what number are we on? 7. So this is Lord Nelson. And again, I think you only get 5 seeds, but more than enough to grow some nice plants. Now there is a depth plant these. It's normally about 1.5 centimeters, which is the only reason why I'm just giving them a quick dab. They don't need to be very deep. So that one was Lord Nelson. So number 8 is Queen Alexandria. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one is Fragantissima, which is like a mix of colors. Let's see, 5. So that's kind of a thing. You just get 5 of each one, but for a pack off Amazon, it's really good. It gives you a mix of colours, mix of scents. I'm assuming most sweet peas have the same sort of scent. And if you've not smelt a sweet pea before, I highly recommend growing them. They smell amazing. So this one was, and the last one was Queen. What did I say it was called? Queen Alexandria. Again, like I said, all these leftovers, I will just mix all together and put at the base of each kind of sweet pea structure that I'm going to be doing. Give me a later sowing and a extended flowering season, which is probably what I'm going to do anyway, because I'm going to be buying more packets of sweet peas later in the year, as I always do. All right, put in the polytunnel. Just going to put 1 seed of beetroot in each of these. Doesn't matter which ones they are, what colour they are. I just want to get the use out of these seeds before they get damp. 1 per cell, and then I'll just push them down with my pen. And I've actually never done it this way before, so this will be a new one for me. So if this kind of plug plant style does well this year, it's definitely something I'm going to be trying again next year with maybe some other crops. And the last one is obviously that cylindrical the longer variety that I want some spare ones of. So I am tired, I am muddy, but I've had a good 2 days at the plot. Got a lot done. It's looking really good. Beds are filled, plants are planted. I've got some nice new edging. I've managed to try out that new chainsaw and cut back the tree that I've been wanting to cut back for a while. So all round, really good few days at the plot. So thanks for watching, and I hope you're having a great week. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hype those videos, and I'll see you in the next one.